So what we're going to do, we're not going to select the loop, we just want the loop for these two extra vertices at the top. We'll come into side view, or hit B for our box select. We'll select these two vertices here, and what we'll do is we'll grab and press Z, and we'll bring it up a bit, and there we have it. We now have our point to our picket fence. And looking at that, I'm still a little bit unhappy with how thick the fence is, so I'm going to come in here, I'm going to bring in wireframe mode so I can see roughly how thick we're going to make it. I'm happy with that. We'll back into solid mode, and right now we're in edit mode, so it's a bit difficult to see our entire object. So I'm going to come back into object mode, and there you have it. You've modeled the first part of the picket fence. So how do we model the rest of the picket fence? Well, that can be done quite easily, as I will cover next. So right now, one thing I've noticed is we've modeled this underneath the grid, and it can be a little bit annoying when you're trying to model something and it's underneath the grid. And advisably, you want to keep things above the grid. It doesn't matter if it goes below the grid, but it's suggested that you keep it above the grid. Now in object mode, we could move this above the grid like that quite easily, but you may notice this little orange dot, and what that represents is the origin of our object. So what this means is the pivot of our object is from that orange dot. Now this is actually, in object mode this won't change, but in edit mode we can actually change where the object sits around this origin point. So if we go into edit mode, we can actually, if we move the vertices in edit mode, you can see that orange point doesn't change. So if we go into edit mode, we hit A to select all, and then we press grab and then Z to bring it up. We can see that the pivot doesn't change, but our vertices now are moved up. So we can actually keep the pivot at the bottom of our fence, and now when we grab that or rotate it, it will pivot around there. But that's only necessary for rotations and stuff.